while we are luckily in an air-conditioned space today, I would love to get our webinar started. We are so excited to share with you some of the impact we've been making, how we've been making it, and really a little bit of the magic with Working Wardrobes behind the scenes. So thank you so much for tuning in. I would love to first do some introductions. So I'm Bonnie Pomish. I'm the CEO here at Working Wardrobes, and Johnny DeFrange, I appreciate very much you keeping it. Johnny's not feeling the best, but good enough to work and is just sniffly and coughing. So he is so kindly keeping his germs to himself with us online in a separate space. Johnny DeFrange is much more than that, though. He is our social enterprise director, and really just delighted to have you here with us today, Johnny. So thanks for
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Hello to everyone out there. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Paula, I would love to introduce you. Paula is the incredible manager of our Costa Mesa store, The Hanger, and we'll learn more about what is the secret special sauce of the Costa Mesa Hanger shortly. But Paula, so glad you're here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, so good to see you. And Stefan Portman, who is our Chief Revenue Officer, and I was commenting before about your long sleeves, but
yes. Cooler in here than out there.
For sure. Stefan oversees all of our social enterprise and our development teams. So each of us bringing a little bit of a different perspective about Working Wardrobes, and really excited to share with everyone a little bit more again about what is social enterprise, what do we do, how does it even help us fulfill our mission? That's really the big question. And really, how does social enterprise contribute to Working Wardrobes' overarching sustainability? We have sort of three different sources of funding that help us help clients, right? Because everything we do is always to help people get empowered and ready to re-enter the workforce. But it costs money to do that. And we don't charge our clients anything for this work, right? So the social enterprise is the focus of our conversation today, but there are really three funding sources, right? One is absolutely social enterprise. The other pieces are, grants and contracts, and of course, as mentioned, fund development, individuals and corporations taking a vested interest in supplementing and supporting our efforts. We're also going to talk today about how do clothing donations help clients. There is a sort of a life cycle that happens, how your donations literally help us help people get ready for the workforce. We will, of course, share why we need financial contributions in addition to physical clothes. And last, we're going to, of course, share with you some stories, right? There's so much magic that happens behind the numbers and the activities and the way this all literally changes lives. And I always say this, but we're just changing one person at a time, but the ripple effects of that are countless and really unbelievable when you think about the impact that has on the world. So thank you for tuning in and also wanting to be our partners in changing the world one person at a time. So let's get started. So it's funny because I hear this one phrase so often when we talk about Working Wardrobes, and that phrase is, we're so much more than the clothes. Yet we spend a lot of time with clothes. We use social enterprise to really fund client transformations. And so I want to just talk a little bit first about how does social enterprise as a function literally transform people? Can you just shed some light on this? Maybe Stefan, you could get us started.
Sure. I think it'll be helpful even to explain what a social enterprise is. Essentially, a social enterprise is a business, and most businesses have a financial impact, right? They're focused on the financial bottom line and the profits that the business is spinning off. A social enterprise is a business that has a double or triple bottom line, right? So the bottom line isn't just financial, it's also social, it can be environmental. And so we essentially, as a nonprofit, are blessed to have a business inside of our nonprofit that provides financial benefits, which we then funnel back into creating social benefits.
So it's really like this is not even a profit line, it becomes an impact line. When you
Correct.
look at, a P&L, you're not looking at what did we make, we're looking now, what do we have to invest in our clients?
Correct.
And then Stefan, this piece that you just barely touched on, which is, it really speaks to my heart, is the sustainability piece, that there's this other offset, and that is this environmental impact. Has its own line too.
Absolutely. I mean, essentially, we're in the zero waste and recycling business as well. And I know we're going to get a little bit more into detail on that, but we are able to, the fashion industry and retail produces so much in the way of product. And a lot of that, once it's used, goes to landfill. And so we are able to recycle that. And we're also able to donate and share our products with other partners, which helps address that, particularly in this fast fashion world where there's a lot of cheap merchandise out there that's not made sustainably.
Well, sure, and not built to last either, right? Like it's literally intended to be disposable. Let's start at the beginning. I think you're spot on. So we know what social enterprise is now. We understand that this is how we literally create dollars to create impact. So let's talk about what happens. I pull up with my clothing donation. I'm ready to make a difference, right? And really this started with my COVID-20, right? So I really need to like unload the clothes that don't fit anymore. But oftentimes that's not the only story. So share with me, what is the journey of that clothing item? Like how does this work?
Oh, absolutely. I'll go ahead and take over on that one. So I love the phrase, the journey of an item. As Stefan mentioned, a lot of clothing items, their last destination in their clothing life is a landfill, or even worse, somewhere in the middle of the ocean, right? So what we're doing is we're accepting these donations at our donation center in Irvine, and we're going to go ahead and put each piece of clothing through a strict and very rigorous quality control check. Now, from there, there's a lot of different paths that it can go to. The one that we enjoy the most is going directly to our retail stores. Paola, she'll touch on this a little bit later on, but we have two different concepts for our retail stores. We have 2 outlets and 2 boutiques. Depending on the brand of the clothing, it will be sorted into one or the other. And as we've mentioned already, when that clothing is purchased, it's finding a new home with a new guest of ours, right? So we're already making happiness and impact there. And then the revenue from that sale is funneling directly back into the mission, and we're making another impact. And then lastly, as Stefan said, triple bottom line, we have a great environmental impact as well. It found a new home, whereas elsewhere, it may have ended up in that landfill. Other potential opportunities that, let's say, if it doesn't pass our quality control standards, which we hold very, very high, it may end up going into what we consider a blue bin or a ragger, in which it is recycled or deconstructed, and it can be repurposed for further clothing or other materials. And we work with basically partner companies that help us assist in this, and individuals as well. And then furthermore, we have other opportunities where a good majority of this clothing is actually ready to directly serve our clients. And it will get the fast track to a client who is ready to hit the field, start getting their interviews done. And that clothing is going to give them not only the opportunity to do so, but the confidence in doing so, which is extremely key. I think we have all been in an interview, you're feeling those shakes right before you walk in, right? But if you know you're wearing something nice, fresh, and fly, you're going to have a little bit of extra confidence. And confidence is key. It's going to help you nail that interview. So that is a big part of the journey of these clothing items.
I think that's actually my favorite part of the journey of our clothes. It's the part that speaks most to my heart, which is this idea that if I am donating, business professional wear or business casual, that it's actually going to be, I'm going to call it upcycled, because it is getting a brand new life. And not only is the item getting this new life, but the person that's going to get to wear it has, like you said, Johnny, this new lease on opportunity with confidence, that sort of sense when you put on something that you feel good in, that you have, like, you stand a little taller, you shine a little brighter. And for working wardrobes clients, that is the sort of final touch, right? That's the thing that happens after they've gone through a slew of training, resume updating, mock interviews, really preparing their insides to get ready for the workforce. And now this final touch, let's make sure that outside matches. I just, that's for sure, that's my favorite. But you're absolutely right. The the items that are not professional wear, that are not business friendly, are amazing finds in our stores. And Paula, I would love for you, if you don't mind, to sort of highlight a little bit of like, what are the things you find in the hanger?
So in the hanger boutiques, you'll find mainly designer luxury pieces at great prices. At the outlets, it's more casual, streetwear, a little bit of vintage, so more of your everyday clothing. We still have designer and luxury at affordable prices.
One of my favorite things too is this sort of the find. You called it these vintage finds, and I think that that's its own journey too, isn't it?
We do. Honestly, I think you can come into our store and find an incredible piece that no one has except us. You can find from 50s, 60s, 70s clothing to current pieces.
I think that that's, and I'm going back to what Stefan was saying about the sort of disposable clothing industry. There's something really special about a rare find.
It is, especially because nowadays trends from back in the day are coming back into style. And you want that authentic piece from back in the day, and we're reusing it again.
Yeah. And there's a story now with it, right? Like, I think when I think about some of the pieces that I have purchased at the hanger, I wear also with another level of pride, which is the pride knowing the impact. And this is back to what you were describing with social enterprise in itself. I know that I've made a difference in the environment. I've made a difference in a person's life. And I'm giving this, this piece of clothing makes me feel great.
It is. And thankfully, I think customers come to us, most of them still don't know who we are, but they stay with us because of our mission. So they find us on Google, and they'll say, oh, I was just down the street, and they come in for the clothing, but they stay with us for our mission, which is amazing.
How do they find out about it, Paula? Like, when a person comes to shop at the hanger, let's say.
So most people I've heard it's Yelp, Google, from a friend, or they're just passing by the street.
And how do they find out about the mission? Like, once they're in, maybe they've just, oh, this is a cool store. Let me see what you've got in here. Or
that's
my friend.
where we come in. So most of us let the customer know there's 3 stages. If I don't get you right when you enter, I'll get you by the fitting room when I'm walking you in there and let them know, or when we're closing a transaction. So what happens is if I don't get you at the front of the door or in the fitting room, I get you once you're closing out.
And this is like an education opportunity. It sounds like you get to be the bearer of great news, which is not only look at these fabulous finds, but this is actually shopping for a cause.
It is, it is.
Is the mission special to you in any way?
Yes. So to me, I actually started when I started volunteering. So I wanted a place that would make a difference. There was a lot of places, but none of them touch home. And I found working wardrobes. I loved it. I fell in love, and I'm like, I want this to be my first job. And it did become my first job.
And this is the power of the paycheck in action, that you were so intentional about where you wanted your first paycheck to come from.
It was huge.
Wow.
I was a high school student, and receiving my first paycheck made me feel so independent.
Right?
It did.
I think about that sense of empowerment that you're describing, right? That ability to make different choices. That's what a paycheck does, right? You're empowered to have the resource to choose other things. And I know we're in the business of workforce development, but what I really think we're in the business of is empowerment. We empower volunteers to make a difference. We empower donors to impact not just the environment, but obviously transforming other people's lives. We obviously are empowering our clients with the skills and knowledge and the ability to get the power of a paycheck. I mean, really, everyone that's a partner is empowered by it. So we get these clothes, right? And I used one example. The example I used was like an individual bringing clothes to donate. Are there other examples of like who donates and how do they find us?
Absolutely. So we have a significant amount of corporate donors that will assist us, a lot of large scale retailers as well. And the same with community groups, which have been an increasingly growing stream of donors for us. So those have been fantastic opportunities for us. We've had retailers such as Delivering Good, which has been a huge supporter, BB Dakota, Boot Barn, and Taylor Brands, which works with Men's Warehouse. And it's been fantastic. It helps us produce all of our largest events, and it helps us really keep going and keep pushing the mission. Bonnie, I want to rewind a little bit and actually touch on something that you mentioned with our mission of, that empowerment and creating that safety net, that power of a paycheck. Another good point for us to bring up is, we're breaking down barriers, right? And that's a huge one for me. So what led me to Working Wardrobes was obviously the mission, because in my past experiences as a young adult, I experienced a few bouts of homelessness, and learning about the mission of Working Wardrobes, it connected to me, and I learned, hey, when I was 18, 19 years old, going through a rough time, I wish I knew about this resource that was available. And Working Wardrobes was around that time. They were in the area helping, but at that time, I just didn't know. But that sort of resource, that would have broken a major barrier for me to get me back into the workforce quicker. So making sure that we're touching on that is just so fantastic. I think that's what really drives me there. And I know we all have our individual one of that's the flagship reason, but breaking down those barriers, that's great. Now back to retail and back to our merchandise, which we love so much, right? Suppliers, they come and they help us out. They will deliver whatever product that they're able to supply to us. This can be aged goods. This can be goods that just maybe didn't just miss the printing cycle. So they're just bare goods. And then a lot of our luxury actually comes from church groups, donation groups, community groups within the area. So these are where we're seeing a large amount of that product influx there. But our corporate help has been just fantastic for us. So if anyone's watching, shout out to you and your teams for helping us out there. It makes a smile on all of our faces when we get those shipments coming up.
Wow, Johnny, you're right. It takes a village, right? It takes a lot of different people with a lot of different resources to be able to help and complement one another in this effort. Sounds like too, when you were talking about the corporate partners, there's also these drives, right? And I think you were mentioning this with communities of faith and having an opportunity to be of service and help in the community. What better, more, sort of accessible way than to host a clothing drive where a lot of people are coming. And you also mentioned some retail partners. I don't think that most people know that we have, beyond the individual person closet donor giving to Working Wardrobes, that these when you mentioned the large scale events, I know that you're talking about when we take the show on the road, right? When we go serve 100 Marines in one day at Camp Pendleton, that's a lot of suits that you need to have ready to go to be able to outfit, right? And a lot of different sizes. So you're absolutely right, Johnny. Those are big impact. Well, maybe it would be helpful to illustrate. I talked a little bit, let's share some stories. Maybe it would be helpful to illustrate a couple of examples of partnerships. One of the ones I kind of on this theme, if you will, of surprises or things that I didn't know about Working Wardrobes. But one of the secret sauces about Working Wardrobes is that we treat everyone and everything with dignity, right? This is just a huge core value of ours. And one of the pieces that I loved learning and seeing in action was when a client is at that final touch, right? When they have gone through the workforce development side, they have landed the interview, and they are now primed and ready to go to, we have literally a wardrobe center where a person is met one-on-one for a styling experience that is beyond dignified. And in that experience, they literally get suited up and have that confident feeling. And when they go to, like they would at the hangar, right, to check out, their items are wrapped in tissue, and then they are placed in bags donated from South Coast Plaza. So a branded but generic, if you will, at the same time, bag that you literally walk out the door with, clothes being treated with dignity, and also there's not like a scarlet letter or something saying that, this was something that I received, but that, I proudly, it looks like I got this at South Coast Plaza. Could you share with me some more stories, some examples of, our partnerships and what they yield? Maybe Stefan would be great to
Sure.
start.
Another area actually that South Coast Plaza has helped us as well is that they are able to help us leverage their tenants that are within the mall and find brands and connect us with brands who our mission will resonate with. And we actually did, as you know, a joint event last year with Ferragamo, and that started as an initial partnership. And then we were able to follow up and talk to their corporate offices. And they have now also been providing product that we are using for some of our client events as well. So, and they're also working with us on a number of other retailers as well. So that's very exciting.
No one would expect that, Stefan. I gotta throw that out there, right? Like you would not expect to receive a Ferragamo suit when you come in, right? But that's what you're gonna get.
And we received, over hundreds of them, literally. And these were actually recycled uniforms that a lot of their staff wear in their boutiques around the world. So talk about the whole recycling as well. And so that's a great example. Another good one is some of the corporations that we work with as well, whether it's Windsor Fashions, we have some representation on our board. They've also contributed some of their technical expertise as we've looked to create new systems for our donation center and for our retail stores around a new point of sale system. We've been looking to introduce a new inventory system. So they were able to provide some of their experts to us free of charge to help us provide some horsepower, some real experience around how we do this. Same with Edwards Life Sciences. They also helped us in terms of helping us with a new inventory system and also a POS system. So those are another two great examples of corporations that are helping us as well. Windsor also introduced us to Johnny Waugh, and they were able to donate some products. So it goes on and on. It's literally this these networks that we tap into, and we're very fortunate to have.
It also, I just love the synergy that this is, every single one of these is an example of the power of one person to make a difference, right? You make that connection, one person says yes, one person says, yes, I can open that door for you. Yes, we want to help. And it may take some tenacity, but it's literally each of us has that opportunity to own our power and make those choices. So way to go. Other examples?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to touch on the South Coast Plaza bags. A lot of people may think like, oh, well, I don't know necessarily how I can contribute or how I can help. And when they reached out with us and we were able to converse and they let us know, hey, we have some bags we're interested in, helping you out with, that was huge for us. Bags, any retailer knows, that's actually a huge cost. It eats up over time. And that was able to assist us in not only saving money to reinvest into the mission, but also we're getting high quality, sturdy bags for those clients and for those retail shoppers. So no matter what you think is big or small, trust me, we can use it. Everyone can use it. That's the same thing about recycling. We'll be able to find a way that it can help the mission.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm really enamored with the zero waste piece. And I know for me, the concepts that you've already described probably could use a little bit even more illustration. I'm thinking about, Johnny, you kind of whizzed through a lot of different opportunities that we have to be a resource. And we've talked a little bit about this. Obviously, professional clothing is helping our clients, number one, first and foremost. But pieces that I think you called it, streetwear, vintage items, maybe
athletic wear.
Oh, that may be my favorite wear, I have to admit. All of these pieces that come together around the outlets and boutiques. How does this get orchestrated? Would you please sort of open up the curtains and share with us what happens backstage? How does this happen?
Sure, absolutely. So all of this happens at our donation center in Irvine, where we have a supremely dedicated staff that literally will hand sort each item individually. And then you can go ahead and imagine it like either the Harry Potter hat or some sort of other type of bins, but it will find a home. So that person will go through every inch of that garment, and we'll make that decision where it goes. So as everyone was mentioning, if we have that streetwear, that athletic wear, that vintage, to the outlets, you're gonna go ahead and find those gold nuggets in the racks down there. So go and check them out. When we have that higher name brand, that luxury, we're gonna go ahead and send that to our boutique locations there. And then anything that doesn't necessarily fall into either one of those two, we can go ahead and follow through with some of our third-party partners or vendors or we'll do reach outs or donation sales at our donation center as well. We have plenty of different opportunities for it. Our main goal after suiting our clients is ensuring that we are producing zero waste. Each garment will find a home. So it just takes a lot of hands, takes a lot of time, but it's absolutely worth it for the mission in the end.
Yeah, I love this piece too, that, some of our partner organizations have different needs for different clothing. And I remember being at Share Ourselves right down the street from the Costa Mesa hangar and talking with their staff who have a lot of people who are unhoused and who really, they needed a sweatshirt or a pair of jeans. And we have products that we wouldn't be able, obviously someone wouldn't wear that to work, that we wouldn't sell it in the store because maybe it has some damage. Because Johnny, I have seen the inspection process myself, and it is 100% as rigorous, if not more, than what you said. There is no ring around the collar allowed in these clothes. But a person who needs an item for its just like legitimate, purpose, meaning to stay warm, to be clothed, there is nothing wrong with those, imperfections. And knowing that that is also going to help remove barriers for individuals in need makes my heart also very glad. There's also, I think probably because we live in Southern California, there's just something about, environmentalism and knowing that we're not contributing and being kind to our ocean and our planet and the places that we live. I know I kind of feel guilty every time my trash bin is filled. So knowing that nothing is going to waste also feels like an incredibly wise place to make my donations.
Yeah, and I think it's important to point out the wardrobing piece too. As we sit here in the Career Success Center, we have our professional wardrobing area. We serve anywhere from 3,500 to 5,000 clients in a year. Of that, we're usually wardrobing about 1,500 clients. So about 1 in 3 of our clients are receiving personal wardrobing services, and all of that product is also coming from our donation center and is essentially being selected. And it's not just suits, it's not just ties and shirts, it's also accessories, it's handbags, it's purses, it's jewelry, things that are really going to help people look the part, not just the suit itself. And so that's a whole comprehensive piece as well. And we're very lucky to have specific partners as well that just support that aspect of our business.
You're right, Stefan. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because it's another one of those, it's not like it's an unsolved mystery, but like it's not common knowledge that, right, yes, bring your purses. Yes, bring your shoes, your belts, the suspenders. Yes. And you're right, there's just those finishing touches. That is the start of it, the suit, but it's the whole package. Thank you for that. Sure. Can you give me a sense of the scale here? Like, how many items are we talking about? Because you mentioned over 1,000 clients, and I'm thinking, well, that's a lot of lives. How many pieces of clothing are we talking about?
So last year we received from the general public just under 200,000 items. If you add in all of the stuff that we received from our retail partners as well, we're talking almost 500,000 items.
Wow.
So
wow,
that's a lot, right? And I think it's really important as well to share that not only are people helping to provide these clothes, but then people are also coming and volunteering in our donation center to help us sort it. We run this operation with a very small team, and we're lucky enough to be able to leverage the goodwill and the time that a lot of our donors, our volunteers provide. Companies also come and do volunteer days, and they're put to work in the donation center helping to do the various aspects of sorting. So the volume is pretty high. We receive those clothing donations come from about 4,000 clothing donors per year, not counting the corporate ones. So, and I believe this year it's a little bit less than it was last year, because we were still seeing the effects from COVID last year, and people were still cleaning out their closets and had more time at home. But we're on track this year to see about 150,000 pieces just from the general public versus 200,000 last year. So
incredible. Yeah. I'm just thinking about, I think about how many customers, you see in a day, and that's just.
We see a lot. So the wardrobing services here that is provided, we are also able to provide at the store. So any customer can come in and we provide personal shopping for them. And that doesn't necessarily happen at secondhand stores or just your regular stores. And we pride on customer service.
Paula, I can be a testimonial for you because the kind of time and attention, but also creativity and personalization that you bring to that shopping experience. You're exactly right. It's very much the same effort that we make for our clients that you make for the customer. And that is, I want you to leave here feeling proud and confident and like, you're walking on water on top of the world.
Definitely. I want a customer to come in and experience as if they were in a designer clothing store.
Like I'm in Milan or something now, right?
Yes, I want them to leave happy because they come back. They come back and look for us.
Oh, for
And
sure.
That's what we want. We want returning customers and new customers.
Well, I know this too to be true, which is when you get into relationship with your customers, you will look out for them.
Yes.
And that you'll even, and I know that there's a lot of tricks to this trade, but you'll let them know when they're looking for, whatever it is, whether it's a Halloween costume or it's that perfect, vintage piece or belt or hat or whatever the piece is, that you will literally be on the lookout for them.
Yes, definitely. Some of my best friends are my customers because I'm always texting them. I have this item for you. Come check it out, or I'll send them a picture. This reminded me of you. You haven't been here in a week. Come see me. Oh. So it's that personalization and being very personable with our customers.
Oh, and incredible. Well, what do you think? I mean, I know you may or may not have a crystal ball, but what's the future of this business? I mean, is there an uptick, a downtick, a side tick? I don't know what's going on in, sort of secondhand and consignment. What are you seeing are the trends?
Secondhand is becoming very, very popular. There have been so many stores that are closing down and so many other secondhand stores that are coming out. So we're looking pretty good.
What's interesting to me is I don't think that I had a conscientious approach to purchasing clothing until recently. And to be able, we often see like something is fair trade certified or it's organic, or, there are particular signs of our education and the times and the choices that we make when we make purchases. And I think choosing to shop at the hanger is making a sustainable choice, is making a social justice choice, which is to say, I want to help people get that hand up and get the job and get on that road to self-sufficiency. So I feel like it's a very also empowered choice to shop with us. Any other projections, Johnny or Stefan, about the industry itself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to see that uptick and it's going to continue to grow, especially with the younger generations. They are extremely interested in thrifting and that search. And I think that what secondhand has over other retailers is that we have that experience of not knowing what you're going to find. You can walk into a brand name store and you're going to find the brand name that you're walking into, correct? Right? Here, you don't necessarily know what you're going to find. So going through that rack and then all of a sudden finding that one item that catches your eye, and then it turns out it was vintage, and it turns out it's this high-end brand and you're getting $40 off on it. All that compounds into a very happy moment. So I think that's the addictive aspect of it. That's what gets us and our customers to keep coming back to our locations. And it's honestly a fun way to shop. It's different from the norm. It's very fun. And then you're helping your community and you're helping the environment and you're helping people get back to work, break those barriers down. Stefan mentioned that we dressed 1,500 clients last year. And just think about it, like that is double the size of a lot of those small California towns you see where it's like population 745 people. That's double that size. It's huge. Yeah. When's the last time you've seen 1,500 people at an event, right? Probably a concert, football game, something like that. So just think about it. That's the scale. That's the impact right there. That's how many people are overcoming those barriers.
That's incredible. You're right. Sometimes we kind of throw out numbers and you don't really have like a real
tangible touch on them.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great example, Johnny. Well, while we've been chatting, we've been receiving some questions in the, I don't know what you call it, but I'm going to say the chat, but it's called something else anyways. So, Catherine, would you please share with us what this first question is, and maybe Paula will read it for us. What
Do
is
you
it?
accept items or donations that are not business attire? Yes, we definitely do, as long as they're gently used.
That's a really good point though, Paula, right? It needs to be we will make, it will not be wasted if
It
you
will
donate
not.
it.
But we want our clients and customers to have the best.
Absolutely. And we know it's going to go through a rigorous quality
It
inspection,
will.
right? So yes, absolutely. Gently loved. We love also, clean clothes on the hanger, please. And of course, you don't need to hang accessories, but those purses, shoes, jewelry, and those pieces are all very, very helpful and can be used in addition to the business attire for accessorizing your everyday wear. All right. Do we have any other questions? Oh, yes, we have a few. Okay, got it. Let's see. What's this one?
You want to go with that one?
Yeah, sure. I have a connection to a retail manufacturer. How can I connect you to them?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, absolutely. You can introduce either Johnny or any of our retail managers directly when you go into our stores and speak to our retail managers, or our team at the donation center, or myself. Many of you have my email from the correspondence that we send out. But please feel free to reach out to us. Johnny and I were just on the phone this week with a retailer that a board member connected us with. So we love all ideas, and there are many different ways that retailers can help us, both with product as well as with expertise or funding or other areas as well. It doesn't just have to be clothing.
That's so true, Stefan. I mean, I have yet to meet someone who can't connect with this mission. I should say it in the positive. Like everyone that I meet has some way of connecting and supporting this mission, which it's a beautiful invitation from the retail sector that you may not think, but I love attending those shopping events where it's a give back night. Like I would have gone anyways, and now I'm getting 10% or 20% back to Working Wardrobes. We love product, kind of partnerships where people are able to shop their favorite brands that can benefit us. I mean, there's all sorts of ways.
Well, you mentioned it earlier, but one of our great partners is Cuts, and they've now done 2 rounds of promotions for us where essentially they were in a period of time saying for every t-shirt that's bought, we will donate one to Working Wardrobes. And I think last year it was 5,000 t-shirts we received, and this year it was 8,000. So it's just incredible what can happen too with these buy one, donate one opportunities.
Get creative. We're ready. All right, we are ready for the next question. Oh my goodness, I didn't realize so many came in. Wow, okay.
I work for a company that might be a good community partner. How can I get connected to Working Wardrobes?
That's a great question. So there are so many different ways that we can engage with community partners. There is the opportunity for product, like we're talking about today. There's the opportunity for volunteers, both volunteers that come and do a corporate social responsibility day, as we call it, or a volunteer day, either at our Career Success Center or a donation center. We also have the opportunity for what we call skills-based volunteers. And these are people that bring a specific skill set, usually an HR background, that work directly with our clients and provide some of the career services that we do from a mission perspective. Outside of that, there's the opportunity to provide expertise in ways that might help our business otherwise, like we mentioned, with new systems or new technologies that you may have particular domain expertise in. And then there's also, last but certainly not least, financial opportunities. Well, from joining our Rebuilding Careers Coalition to becoming part of our monthly giving program on the Success Club to sponsoring some of our events. We have a gala coming up in 2 weeks, and we have a number of community partners that are sponsoring that. So there is really a multitude of ways that community organizations can engage with Working Wardrobes, and we welcome everybody. The best place to start would be to send an email to the development team at workingwardrobes.org. And we are happy to share that out with our partners here internally based on your specific needs and your interest areas.
I had to highlight, there's one more opportunity, and Paula, you have done this, which is you have hosted private shopping parties.
Yes,
He-
definitely.
Right? And like it could be your church group, your book club, it could be a team building activity for, your work group, but bring the drinks and snacks and we'll open up late for you and have that personalized shopping experience.
We do. We have in the past, before COVID, hosted a few shopping parties for some of our customers, and it's super fun. It could be a group of 5, 10, many people you want to bring over, and it's a fun time.
Love it. All right, couple more questions.
Can I see your new facility?
Oh, yes. I host tours every month, and we have one coming up on September 15th, the next one. They're usually Thursdays at 4:00. I would love to show you where we transform lives. This facility is really an embodiment of the love and the dignity and the resources that we enrich people's lives with. So you should definitely come check it out. Members of our entire team are able to really share the story and show you how it is that we go about, sort of like you shared the journey of a piece of clothing that's donated. We kind of take you on the journey of a client with Working Wardrobes. So yes, please. And check out the website, workingwardrobes.org/tours, and RSVP today. The dates through the end of the year are published there.
I want to contribute to your mission. How can I donate money and clothes?
See, all of the above.
You want to take that one?
Sure. So donating clothes Tuesdays through Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pull on up to our donation center in Irvine. It's off of Daimler Street.
17392 Daimler Street.
Thank you, Stefan. Stefan also knows that I'm terrible with geography. So it's, just right down the street from Edwards Life Sciences in Irvine. Yes, and again, clean clothes, gently loved on the hanger, please. And what was the other? Oh, and how can you donate money? You can also go to our website and make a direct contribution. I personally love the sort of subscription model, which is to contribute a smaller amount, but to do it monthly. For me, that's a more achievable way to support organizations that are near and dear to my heart, like Working Wardrobes. And Stefan, you mentioned this, that we have this Rebuilding Careers Coalition, which is anyone that's contributing $100 or more a month, so a minimum of $1,200 per year, is basically a part of our VIP crew. And this is actually a giving collective. This particular sort of status means that as a part of the coalition, you're really taking a stand and you're saying, I want to be a part of changing lives. In 2022 alone, this giving collective will help 80 clients with our entire services, from literally soup to nuts, right? From the beginning of doing the assessments, the updating the resume, the updating your profile on LinkedIn, connecting, the right jobs with the right employers and making sure you're targeting those efforts, preparing you for the interviews, getting you the certifications, the trainings, the workshops needed to succeed in those particular career paths. And then of course, once you land the interview, getting success suited up. So your financial contributions make all of that happen and really, again, change the world just one person at a time. All right, I think we have time for just maybe one more question.
I work for another nonprofit and would like to become one of the partners you donate items to. Can you share the process for this?
Absolutely. So we very much believe in partnerships, and through our client services team, our program, we have partnerships with over 140 organizations throughout Southern California and beyond. The best way, again, to come to us and as a nonprofit partner would be through that client services side. I don't have a generic email to mind for them, but you can also go ahead and send that request to the development team at workingwardrobes.org, and we're happy to share that as well. And we can also pass that along to our donation center team, and they can ask you a few more questions around what kind of product you're specifically looking for. And of course, like any organization, we like to track our impact as well. So we'd have some questions around the target population that you're serving, the requirements, et cetera, et cetera. But we love getting those requests. We call it sharing the love when we're able to donate the product that we're not able to use ourselves to benefit other organizations. So please reach out to us. Nothing else, please call our main line and they'd be happy to redirect you.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm feeling a little old school over here. Sometimes I just want to talk to someone.
somebody.
Yeah. Check out our website. You can grab all of the contact information that we've mentioned today. And you can get any more information, not only to partner with us as an organization, to refer clients. If there's someone you know that needs these services, I'm looking at you, Johnny, thinking about your story and not knowing that this was an opportunity to help advance your career and get you housed, employed, empowered, and do it with dignity. Those are major life-changing events, and we would have the absolute honor of helping anyone that needs those services to get them. You mentioned this too, Stefan. I'm so excited. Our annual gala is coming up on Saturday, September 24th. It is going to be this year at the Bowers Museum, which I think is this beautiful place that we really honor human experience over time. And we are there celebrating our growth as an organization throughout the decades. So we will highlight some client stories, the impact of supporters, donors, people who take a vested interest in empowering people in our community. I would love to celebrate that evening with you. It's absolutely going to be magical. It's outdoors under the stars. And if you purchase those VIP tickets, you'll also get access to a museum exhibit. And I don't know about you, but I love multitasking. I love efficiency. So getting to go to the museum and have a fabulous night out while I'm also supporting an incredible organization, that is another triple bottom line.
It is. There's actually a way for people to support the event, even if they're not able to attend, though, and that's through our auction. We're going to have a silent auction this year, which has a number of great gifts. It has experiences and products for you to bid on. That will be opening. The auction will be opening on the 16th, so a week prior. And all of that information will be available on our website, and there will be emails going out about it as well. So you can donate and support our organization and bid on wonderful products and services and experiences from the comfort of your own home.
I'm really glad you said that, Stefan, because a good friend of mine said to me, "Bonnie, I can't make it to the gala on September 24." And she literally asked me, is there a way that I can shop the auction? And then when you said gifts, that really triggered my thought. It's never too early to start holiday shopping. It's also, there are some people in my life that are difficult to shop for. So this is definitely the answer. Some really unique, one-of-a-kind opportunities.
You're absolutely right. For the fashionistas out there, some of the best product that we have received this year, we've been kind of squirreling away, and it will be on reveal at the gala and in the auction as well. So please tune in to find some really priceless finds.
That's exciting.
Fallon's ready to check it
tuning into.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I do hope to see you soon on a tour, and if not at the gala, online. Just from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for caring about our community, wanting to lift the individuals in it up and let them be better versions of ourselves and those we are serving. So I just thank you for your partnership in every way and shape. We will follow up with an email, and you are welcome to share our information with friends. There are always other people that need to know about the magic of working wardrobes and how it is that we are empowering individuals. And so please feel free to share. And I again hope to see you on a tour soon. Thank you for your support. Johnny, Paula, Stefan, and our behind the scenes production team, thank you so much for your engagement today. It's truly been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much. Have a great one.